So you guys remember today we're going to learn how to solve quadratic equation that looks like this: ax plus bx plus c equals to 0. So when I write this, well, ABC could be any real numbers. This represents every possible quadratic equation you could ever think of. Every homework problem that you did, right? It's just you had different ABC, correct? Sometimes they put B and C on the other side and so forth, but basically you could always make it into this form, right? And this represents every quadratic equations you could possibly think of, right?
Yes.
Where ABC is some real numbers. So what I'm going to do, or what we're going to do, not me, what we're going to do is solve this equation as with ABC, because yes, this is something you had as a homework last night. So let's see how many people got this right.
Oh, it was not.
Okay. All right. So yes, this was the last problem from last night. So if you got this, then you're that much ready. If you're not, that's okay. If you didn't get it, we're going to do it right now. Does that make sense? So do you see the do you see why this is kind of really good to solve this generic quadratic equation? What's the point of then solving this? Yeah, Sarah? Okay, well, let's solve this first and see whether or not this is useful for us. Does that make sense? But do you all agree that this equation, quadratic equation, represents every quadratic equation you could ever think of, right? As long as, well, A can't be 0, because if A is 0, then you have linear. Does that make sense? So let me write that. A can't be 0. We don't want A to be 0. Because if A is 0, then we know how to solve that, right? So let's see whether or not this is useful to actually even solve. So do you guys remember? So we're going to solve this using, do you think I could factor the left side? There are two ways of solving this, right? You could either factor the left side or use the... Yeah, you can't really factor this, can you? Yeah, because you don't know what ABCs are. Some trinomials you could factor, some trinomials you can't. But we don't know what ABC could be any number, so some will be able to factor, some we can't. So guess what? What other method do we have left? Yes, John? Completing the square method. So we're going to use completing the square method. Okay? So that's the only way we could solve this. So that's what we're going to do. First step then, completing the square method, is what? Raise your hand if you remember. This is what we've been doing for 2 days, right? Yeah, Ellie?
You should move the C to the other side.
Do I move the C to the other side first? Or, yeah, you got to make sure the coefficient of the first term is 1. Remember I told you that's the first step you got to do, okay? So, you might want to do what first? How about 2 people? Come on, everybody should know. What's my this is the most important step that you can do. Logan.
Divide by A.
Divide both sides by A. Is that okay? Everybody go ahead and do that. I'll do that right now too, okay? So let's divide both sides by A. So make sure you divide the whole left side by A and then the right side by A. Some of you like to put the whole thing underneath once. You should do it, 1 divided by A, 1, and then the other side by A. Then this becomes, what does this become? Michael?
X squared.
Good. Plus?
Bx over A.
Yeah. How about BA over X? Isn't that the same thing? Okay, plus
C over A.
C over A equals to 0. Are we okay so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you all get this?
Yeah.
Then, what's my next step, Ali? Then I should?
You want to put the C on the other side.
Yeah. Now that my coefficient is, what's my coefficient now? 1. We could move that up number other, because we want to make the left side as a perfect square. Very good. So let's do that now. Everybody go ahead and do that as I do this too. Go ahead. X squared plus B over A X equals to, well, if you subtract, you get negative C over A. And I left some space there because I know I'm going to need to add something to that space. Okay? Everybody done? Then, who knows what to do at this point? this is the reason why it's called completing the square method. Okay. Robert?
B over 2a squared.
Yeah, what do I do with this?
You take the b.
Yeah.
And put it in parentheses and square it.
Yeah, and then do I multiply?
Yeah. Put it on both sides.
And do I add them, multiply them, subtract them? Add them, good. So I'm going to be adding something squared to both sides. So isn't that what we're going to do? Isn't that what we always do? This time, it's just my b is b over a. So if you divide that by 2, don't you get b over what? 2a? Because dividing by 2 is same as multiplying by 1 over 2, right? Here I'm going to write b over 2a as well. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Then, what? So, and remember I told you it's a good idea to leave this as b over 2a squared instead of actually multiplying this out. The reason is because why? This trinomial on the left becomes something square, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does it become something square of? 1 person? 2, 3? Mane?
It becomes x plus b over 2.
Yeah, x plus b over 2 squared. I mean, not this whole quantity squared, right? X plus b over 2, the whole thing squared. On the right side, do you think I should simplify this right here? I get negative c over, no? Plus, what's b over 2a squared?
Well, shouldn't you just leave it like that so that
Well, on the left side, I want to leave it. But here, on the right side, don't I want to kind of gather them together and simplify? So what's b over 2a, guys? b squared over? Yeah, 2a times 2a is 4a. Sometimes they write 2a. That'd be wrong, right? It's 4a. 2a times 2a. Don't you get 4a? Oh, yes. 2a, thank you. Almost messed up. Okay. Yes, 2a times 2a is 2a squared. Good. Now, let's simplify the right side because right now the right side, it does not have any common denominator. Don't you want to add them together? So is there a way to make it so that they have a common denominator and, yeah, what do I do? Yeah, let's multiply top and bottom of this by 4a. So I should have given myself some time. Let me space here. Oops. Move this over, up, go up. There you go. So let's multiply top and bottom by this by 4a so that, you know, we have a common denominator. So let's rewrite this. You get x plus b over 2a squared equals 2. Here I get negative, what is this? 4ac over 4a plus b squared over 4a squared. Oh, I keep forgetting that square, my bad. Yeah, I wanted that square. Is that okay? And let's gather them together. Is it okay if I write b squared minus 4a on the right side when I add these fractions together? Do you mind if I do that? Because I don't want to have negative in front. And then this is a quadratic term, kind of, right? So let me write it this way. X, it's just, what property am I using as I write this way? B squared minus 4ac. What property, algebraic property did I just use? Commutative property of addition, right? Isn't that right? Negative 4ac plus b squared is same as b squared plus negative 4ac, right? So it just looks better this way because you don't have negative. That's all. Everybody good so far? Yes? Then, what should we do next? This is now we have something square equals to some number on the right side. Yes, John? Square root both sides is correct. So let's square root both sides. Copy this. Paste this here. And let me square root both sides. Take the square root on the left side and square on the... Don't forget to put plus or minus. Yeah? Is that good? Okay. So everybody go ahead and write this down. I'll give you time. Go ahead. Write this down. Make sure you have all this. So after this, somebody tell me what we write next. Anyone? Kira, what does the left side become? Good. X plus b over a. 2a. The square root, right, and the square root they cancel out. Equals to plus or minus. Could I separate them with the numerator and the denominator of the square root? Is that okay? So square root of what? 4ac all over what? Square root of 4a square. That right, guys? Now, thankfully, my denominator is a perfect square, isn't it? So, could I rewrite this as x plus b over 2a equals to plus or minus b squared minus 4ac all over. This is going to be simply 2a. Are we done? Almost. We just need one more step. Who knows what to do? So we're solving for x. So one person knows? 2, 3? That's it? What do we do next? Kaylin, what do you think we should do next to solve for x? Don't I want the x by itself, so I subtract what? b over 2a. So I get x equals to, when I subtract this, let me write it in front. Is that okay? Minus b over 2a. Because I normally want to write the plus or minus. And then b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay? Plus or minus. Okay? So notice they have a common. Thankfully, they both have a common denominator. So let's write them as a one fraction. Well, isn't that what we did in our homework? So we get x equals to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And we solve for x now. Okay, so what did we solve? You guys remember what we solved? We solved what? ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Which represents every what? Quadratic equation you could think of, right? Remember we said a can't be 0, right? So that's good that a can't be 0, because if a was 0, the whole thing would be undefined, right? So, is this helpful for us? Anybody see why we did this? So we know now what x is. Why is this helpful? Yeah, Sarah? Say it louder. You could just plug in numbers. All you have to do is, so let's do an example.
Wait, so we're gonna use this?
So here, okay, hold on to your thought. Hold on to your thought. So it turns out, guys, all you have to do is, if you know this formula, right? All you have to do is plug it in. That's it.
That's huge.
But that's okay. Say it out. Okay, hold on, guys. Hold on. Brent, what'd you say? Yeah, this is. How are you gonna memorize this? Well, I have a remedy for that too. Well, I wish my teacher taught me this. There's a song for this.
Yes. In the middle
So-
of the test, you're gonna hear.
Yes, yeah. But you gotta do it. No, actually. So here's what's gonna happen. Sarah, did you have a question? Hannah. Hannah, would you have a question?
When you know how to use plus and minus.
So should we do a problem first? Then I'll then. Okay, let's sing the song first. Okay.
I remember the whole concept.
You can
Well-
press multiple times.
All right. So I'm not gonna sing it. We're all gonna sing it. So listen, we're all going to sing this. I'll sing it once with my beautiful voice, and then. But nice thing about this is once you hear the song, you will never forget. So that's kind of cool thing. Okay, so you're right, guys. This is great. Listen, all you have to do is plug in ABC to this formula, and you get your solution without doing any of this work that we've been doing, right? Either factoring or using completing the square method. But if you do not memorize the formula correctly, it doesn't really help you. So some person came up with this idea. It's in the tune of, let's see. Okay, so it's in the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. So here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
So it goes something like this. X equals what? Negative b. So okay, here you go. If you know it, well, there you go. Let's try it again. We got it. Equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oh, there's a. You could okay. Let's do it again. You ready? You have to kind of get it. Okay, wait. Here you go. X equals negative b plus or minus square of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And if you could kind of sing it in this tune too if you like. You know, you can. So, how many people? Should we try one more time? You have to sing it, guys. Really, once you sing it, you won't forget. Okay, let's try it one more time. Are you ready? Here we go. Guys, you ready? Here we go. Let's do it again. Ready? Go. X equals b squared minus 4ac. X equals. You can do it like that. Yeah, you could if you want. Okay, let's try it again. X equals. Plus or minus square root of b squared is 4ac all over 2a. That's how you do that one. No, we'll do an example in the group. Okay? How many people think? Okay, how many people think they can memorize this now? Who wants to try? Okay, who wants to try? Brian, go ahead. Oh, oh, who wants to? Okay, Ben, go ahead. That's not really it. I don't hear it. Yeah.
It's not fun.
Yeah, Michael.
Sing it for us.
Equals negative b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac.
There you go. Now, who could do it without looking at the actual? Let me hide this. Go ahead. Who wants to? Yeah, Monty, go ahead. Well, however you want to do.
Okay, x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Okay, there you go.
Mr. Mom, we have it on our papers.
Oh. Well.
I closed my notebook.
But okay, I know she did. So do you see? This is kind of great because like if I would have known this, I wouldn't have forgotten the when I was taking the test when I was in your age. Okay, anyway, so let's then use this because just because you know the formula doesn't mean you know how to do this correctly. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. Example 1. So now, can you solve this quadratic equation 3x squared plus x minus 4 equals to 0 using the quadratic formula? So when you use a quadratic formula, I would like you to first of all write down what ABCs are. A, B, C. What's your A, guys? 3. What's your B, class? There's no coefficient, so there's that invisible 1. So your B is 1. What about your C? Is it 4 or negative 4? It's important that you understand this is really negative 4, right? You understand? So you get 3x, right? So, knowing this, so then after you write ABC, you will write down the formula. Go ahead and write down the formula without looking at it. See if you can do that. Okay, and then plug it in. Go ahead, I'll give you time. Okay, everybody try. Because just because you know the formula does not mean you're gonna get the right answer. You have to practice, okay? Go ahead, everybody try. Okay, so somebody help me how to do this. So first, I should start with x equals what?
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared
Minus 4ac. That's the hard.
all over 2a.
Okay, so all you have to do is, this is why, guys, this is why it's great to be able to solve a generic formula. All you have to do is now plug it in. You don't have to do any sort of math. Just plug it in. Now, when you plug it in, I want you to use parentheses, okay? So you don't make silly mistakes. Something squared minus 4 times something, something, all over 2 times something, right? So let's plug it in now. Somebody tell me what goes into the first parentheses. Class, what do I plug in here? 1. What goes in here? 1. A, what's your A? What's your C? Negative 4. And then 3. Guys, people, okay, so use parentheses. Sometimes people do make silly mistakes, class, because of the negative. Right? Okay, so Justin, tell me what tell me what to write next. X equals to?
X equals to negative 1 plus or minus.
Good. Square root of?
Square root of 1.
Yeah, what's 1 square, class? 1. What's this? Negative 4
48
plus 48 or minus 48? Negative times negative, right? This is really plus negative 4 times 4. So plus what? 48 all over 6. How many people got this so far? Good. Yuri, then tell me what to do next. X equals to? Negative 1. Okay, guys, time to listen now. Jay, time to listen. Okay, plus, minus, all over 6. This time it's kind of nice because look at that square. It's the square root of a perfect square, right? Would it always be a perfect square?
No.
No. Okay. This time it was. So you get x equals to 1 plus or minus, what's this? Square root of 7 over. How many numbers does this represent? 2. So this means either x equals, let's write the smaller one, negative 1 what? Let's write the smaller one first. Minus 7 over 6. Or it means x equals to negative 1 plus 7 over 6. What's this? X equals to negative 8 over 6. X equals to 1. Right, John?
Yeah.
Matthew? Okay. So then John, what do I get on the left?
Negative 4 over.
Negative 4/3 or x equals to 1. You could write it as a set notation, using set notation 4/3. Guys, is this easy or hard? Do you like this method? Can you do one more time? Well, this one, I'm going to give you something. So we get a little bit more creative here. So watch this. Guys, listen. Now, example 2, they got a little bit, well, it's not that different. But what's your A, guys? What is your B? Oh, it's not 6? Why not? It says 6 right there. Isn't your B 6? Isn't your C negative 1?
You have to divide by 3.
No. What's your A again? Your A is 3. What's your B? It's not 6? I see 6 right there.
You have to
Yeah, which equation did we solve? It has to equal to what first?
0.
Yeah, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0, right? So don't just blindly figure out your ABC. You have to rewrite it in the correct form. You understand? So you should rewrite this as what, guys? 3x squared what? Minus 6x what? Plus 1 equals to 0. Now once it equals to 0, now you're ready to figure out what your ABCs are. Okay, what's your A, guys? Your A is 3. B is, it was one person. C is equal to 1. Go ahead, everybody try. So you should be careful. Sometimes they don't give it to you in that standard form. Does that make sense? Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Okay, so did you all write down the formula first? X equals negative b. B squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Alright, so let's then plug it in. Something minus plus or minus square root of something squared minus 4 something something.
4 something.
Yeah, over 2. Okay, somebody tell me what to plug in here. So did you all get the right B and C, right? Even though it looks like B is 6, C is negative 1, it's not, right? You gotta make sure it equals to 0 first. Yes? Okay. So, how about John? Tell me what to write here.
Okay, let me see. 6.
Uh-oh.
Negative 6.
Yeah, it should be negative 6 right here. And then what?
It's this one. Negative 6.
Okay, here.
3.
Yes.
And 1.
Yeah, here.
3.
Okay, everybody got that? Okay, so then how about, I want to ask, how about Jay? Tell me what to write. X equals to?
X equals to
6 plus or minus
a rad 36.
36.
Minus 12.
Minus what?
12.
12 all over
6.
6. Yes? Okay, then, Benno, what do I write? X equals to 6 plus or minus square root of, what's this? Square root of 24 over 6. Good. Hey guys, can I cancel out this 6 and this 6 right here? No. Why not?
Because it's adding.
Yes, it's addition here. You have to have a factor of 6 from the whole numerator, not just one part of it, right? You have 2 terms. Anyway, square root of 24. Is that something we could simplify?
Yeah.
Yeah, 24 is to a factor tree. 2 and what?
6.
2 and 6? 12 and 2 and 6. So this becomes x equals to 6 plus or minus, well, you have two pairs of 2, so guess what? It's going to be 2 rad 6 over 6, correct? So is this the best way to write? Or is there a way to write a little bit simpler? Anybody see what we could do? Hannah?
What would be the negative on the 6?
Negative of the 6? Remember it was negative b, so negative of negative 6 is, yeah, don't forget that, okay, good. Right? Because you're plugging in some place of b, right? That's why I told you to use parentheses. When you do that, you won't make that mistake, right? People think that the negative belongs to one of the numbers. That doesn't, okay. So, is there a way to rewrite this a little bit simpler? X equals to, anybody see what we could do? Yes?
You can do 6 plus 2 rad?
Yeah, rad 6 over 6.
6 and then
Oh yeah, this represents two numbers. Yeah, you can separate right that like that. But actually, there's actually a way to simplify this a little further. Anybody see? Yes. What do you see? There's a 2 factor of 2 on the numerator. Let's factor out the GCF of 2. Why? Because look at the bottom. I have. What do I have? I have 6. You see? So I can factor out a 2. And what does that become? 3 plus or minus rad 6 all over 6. Right?
3.
Oh, well, yeah, and then what can you do here? 2 goes into 2 once, 2 goes into 6, 3 times. Do you see how I could do that? Because now the 2 is a factor. Does that make sense? A factor of the whole numerator. I could divide top and bottom by 2. Do you see how you could simplify this a little further? So yeah, you may not have seen this before, but this is what you do. If you see a common factor on the numerator that cancels out with the denominator, you could factor it out and then simplify. Okay, this is how you do that. Okay, then you could write them into x equals to what? There are two numbers it represents. 3, what? Let's write the smaller one. 3 minus rad 6 over 3. Or what? X equals to 3 plus rad 6 over 3. Does that make sense? Or you could write them in sets. 3 minus rad 6 over 3 or plus rad 6 over 3. Either this way or this way. Doesn't matter. Okay, any question? Do you see how I cancel those out? The common factors? Do you guys see that? Yes? Do you think you could do something like this one more time? Okay. Then here's last example. Example 3. Try this one. How about you guys try? Try example 3. How about x squared equals to x minus 8? Go ahead, everybody try. This looks pretty simple. Go ahead, everybody. Help each other out, okay? It's not a test. Help each other out. There. Yeah, a lot of you are going, oh, this is kind of weird. Okay, so, first of all, guys, time to listen. X squared, did you all write this as x squared minus x plus 8 equals to 0? I hope you all did that, because that's the, right? Otherwise, your ABC will be wrong, and then you're not going to get the right answer. A is 1, B is -1, C is 8, right? Let's plug it in. X equals to negative B plus minus square root B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Yeah. In my mind, I did. In my mind, I did.
No, Brandon, no.
Yeah, before we go, we could sing it one more time if you want. Alright. Okay. How about, okay, now time to listen. Fast. Okay, how about, Kira, can you tell me what to plug in here? -1 here. Good. What about here? Good. And what about here? Good. So we get x equals to, what is this, class? What's negative of -1?
1.
Plus or minus square root of
1.
-1 squared is 1 minus 4 times 8, which is 32 over 2. Uh-oh. We get x equals to 1 plus or minus square root of -31 over 2. Guess what this means? Anybody?
X is equal to
No
I.
real solution.
No.
Real solution.
Junyoung? That's correct.
Isn't it also x is equal to I though?
X equals what?
X is equal to I.
Oh,
That's
not
not
I.
a real
That's
solution.
imaginary, but don't worry about that. Okay, that's later. Yes, that square root could be turned into an imaginary number using I, but that's later. Okay, so guys, when you get, listen, when you do a quadratic formula and then you get square root of a negative number, that's impossible. There is no such number on a real number line, is there? Therefore, when you get this, that means that trinomial is you can't solve for x. There's no such number that makes that equation true on a number line, real number line. Does that make sense? Yes. Question.
Would you get points again if you just said no solution?
No, but when we say no solution, we mean no real solution anyway. But yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Are there cameras here?
Okay. Well, what other questions do you have? Yeah, you could go now. Any question? Do you guys? Can you do something like this for your homework tonight? Yes. Very good.